the land of beautiful horses.
Beautiful. Are there horses there?
You bet there are so many horse ranches there. Arabian English horse are derived from the first thoroughbred Turkish horse. So that horse, by the name Azarax, became the father of all the English horses from then on. Is a fact.
That's where everything started for the horses.
Yes, absolutely
At
love
least for
that
the
guy.
English ones. Amazing, I did. I'm here today with Aydin from Turkey, who is actually our contact and vendor for Cappadocia. And I'm Gert. I work for Remote Year. I'm the community experience manager. But we're gonna be focusing mostly in this 5-day adventure in Cappadocia that Aiden has been helping us to build. And Aiden, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, this is Aydan from Istanbul. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to spend a long time with some remotes in Cappadocia. We've been taking these regular groups there every month and for 3 nights, but now 4 nights gives us, much deeper insight into this unique area. And I've been
Amazing.
there over the years hundreds of times that I get excited going back every season in Cappadocia is different.
That's amazing. Is there now? This is just curiosity, Aiden. Is there a specific season that you prefer that you would recommend? Just you personally.
I can't tell. Maybe the very hot summer days. In terms because I'm shooting photography, I always look at those colors, and then the summer are not that great photography wise, but springtime and the fall is the best time, and then even winter is stunning.
Amazing. I love to hear that. I already want to go, especially now that you're mentioning about spring.
If you compare, I just thought of it. If you compare springtime to fall, I would say fall is like Bach, and spring would be like Beethoven, a lot of up and down.
I love that. I love that
A lot more diverse
analogy.
colors there, actually.
And then, would you be so kind to explain us a little bit the itinerary, what people should be expecting when they go to Cappadocia with you guys with us?
It's a kind of combination of Grand Canyon, Bryce, and Zion in terms of United States, and then a bit of everything. But the unique thing there is actually is people living in this area. Is a national park, and is a lot of people are traveling to Cappadocia, but it doesn't make the place a tourist destination because
Okay.
it's large. There are lots of valleys, and the villages are established, and then maybe the younger generation are dealing with the tourism and travel, and then the restaurants, hotel, but the older generation still farming the land. So in our 4 nights, basically the first day we just arrive, from abroad, and then we fly to Cappadocia, and then we are driven to our small cave hotel because about over 1 million years ago, Cappadocia was formed by volcanic eruption. The area used to be an ocean, so all this volcanic material, and then landing on the surface of water, and then going down, forming very even stratification. Then the land rose, exposing the bottom of the ocean to Mother Nature erosion, and then all this tufa, the volcanic ash, compressed volcanic ash, actually is now the material for either you dig your house into the rock, or you cast the stone blocks, you build a wall out of those. So we choose those hotels that used to be caves hundreds of years ago, but now they are turned into very comfortable luxury hotel rooms. So we check
That's
into a
amazing.
hotel, and then we have some time to rest, to settle, maybe walk around the hotel. Hotel is located in a small village right in the middle of Cappadocia at the highest point of the whole region, which is about 4,000 feet, 1,200 meters. Then we have the first welcome dinner, at a nice fancy restaurant, a walking distance from the hotel. Then
Nice.
that's the first day. So we have the
Amazing.
3 full days, second, third, and fourth. I know the people are, have some commitments for the afternoon. So what we do is actually we have the guide, and I'm planning to be there with you. And then we have the van, everything. So we do the touring, and then they have lunch and bring you back to the hotel. If there's someone who would like to do something else in the afternoon, that is also available. So Cappadocia can be done in a different ways, but it's a great place for archaeology, history, agriculture, folklore, and handicrafts and geography and hiking. So we'll be having a bit of everything actually, and having 4 nights there gives us wonderful, great opportunity to see everything.
Beautiful.
Oh, I
I'm
forgot. I forgot.
gone.
It is the biggest balloon flight in, location in the whole world,
I was about
and
to
they,
ask.
on average 220 days of flying, out of a year.
So big chances.
Is the number one in the world.
Right. And just what I like about what you have built for us is basically because I learned that it's almost Cappadocia, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like an underground city. There's like underground sections. I feel like this is one of those few adventures that it allows you to go under the ground, over the ground, and look it from there, which I think must be like a very unique experience overall.
Yeah, think about ants' nest, a big whole colony.
Right,
People actually
right.
they dug it out because during the seventh, eighth, ninth centuries, there was a kind of political turmoil in the Roman land, and then some marauding armies were sweeping through the area. So local people they came up with an idea of creating those maybe multi-story shelters, if you like. But
Hmm.
you're talking about you can go all the way down about 150 feet below. So they thought they could, women, elder members of society, children would take shelter there while the young men out there could fight, or they all would, actually disappear until the danger is over. But then we can see that they must have been forced to live down there a few months. So it's like an apartment upside down into the ground.
Right, 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 right. Right, and I understand that the hot air balloon ride is obviously included in the price, although we depend a little bit on the weather conditions, right? I just want to set the
Yeah.
expectations that this day, if I understand well, can be moved depending on how the weather is behaving. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, I give the name list to our agency, I mean the balloon company over there, and they will put us at the first available spot.
Right.
But because we have now 4 nights there, actually, it's almost 100% that we'll be able to fly.
Good news then. And then I wanted to ask, during the day that the hot air balloon happens, this is during the sunrise, is that correct?
The balloon thing actually, well, I'll tell you something. About some 25 years ago, I remember I took a group of people to Cappadocia, big busload of people, and the balloon flight was just a couple, an English girl and a Swedish man. They had one
Mhm.
balloon in the area, and they were flying just that one single balloon. I'm talking about 1990s. Next morning, I was at the breakfast. One of them, who turned out to be the leader of that group, actually said, "Aydin, can I have a talk with you? You know what? You don't know how to talk about the balloon flight." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "This is the best balloon flight in the world that we've had."
Right.
He said, "Look, we are balloon enthusiasts. This is our hobby. All this group, we fly balloon everywhere we go. And we've flown maybe about 50 times. This was the best one." I said, "What's the difference?" He said, "Well, first of all, you see the whole operation of how they, prepare the whole balloon. Then you get on the gondola. After you take off during that 1 hour flight, you change your elevation from 1 meter up to 1,000 meters. It's
Mm.
like going, and then topography down is so diverse, and you fly over the areas that you cannot access by car, even by foot. So it's like a dancing like this, and
Right.
then and there are about over 100 balloons on a good day in the area. So you see the whole, kind of celebration. As a package, is the most beautiful balloon flight in the whole world.
I love it. Okay. Big
And I,
words.
and I go
So,
with the group action. Usually, guys don't want to. Why should I wake up in the morning and no? I want to, because every time is different. So you do this before the breakfast, Then
Right.
after you do, you are driven back to the hotel. The whole operation takes about 2 hours. And then you have your breakfast, you have some maybe an hour to shower, the rest, and off you go. Cappadocia, we don't have to rush actually. Everything is very close by. It's like the heart of Cappadocia is a triangle with three towns on the corners, and distance between points or towns is about 15 miles. So you can spend about a week in that area without repeating anything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I had the opportunity to meet some remotes who went to Cappadocia last year, actually, with you, actually. And when they came back, they were completely blown away. My favorite part was when they said, I just thought it was a hot air balloon spot in the world, but they say there was so much to it.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about everything around the hot air balloon?
Even except the hot air balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
The monastic life in Christianity was born in the area. That's the early fourth century. So there was a bishop of Caesarea, the city of Caesar, of Romans. Your land there in Kayseri is actually Caesarea. It's about an hour's drive. It has big, 4,000-meter high volcano, and you know, that erupted about 1 million years ago, and then that's the deposits of that one. Plus, there was a huge pyroclastic wind that actually swept through the whole area because it's easier to dig into the tufa. So early Christians, this was a time when Romans were hiding because until about 314, Christianity was not allowed. So it was
Hmm.
illegal.
Hmm.
It was a kind of
Hmm.
secret missionary cult kind of thing. The topography of Cappadocia, because you can hide away from the population. In the early years of Christianity, actually, they wanted to live away from the population, close to God in seclusion. So this
Right.
remote area, you know, proved to be a great place for that. And plus, they could, if you throw a bucket of water on a surface, it becomes soft. With any metal tool, you can carve the earth and then create a small chamber there. So this allowed, this served the early Christianity, for safety and for ideological purposes. But later, Saint Basil came up with an idea of actually praying together. So they would actually have the weekly gathering at the in a place called Göreme, and
Hmm.
they were still teaching the basic principles of Christianity to the pagans. They were pagans yesterday. Now they are trying to become Christian. But what are the basic concepts of Christianity? And that monastic first monastery of the Christianity actually is today is the open air museum where we have some of the best preserved frescoes and from the 9th, 10th, 11th century in there. This is the Göreme Open Air Museum. People interested in Christian or history is a great place like that. And then people who hike, who like to hike or walk, on trails. Apart from the northeastern Turkey, southwestern Turkey, Cappadocia is one of the best places in the country to hike. It can be hike can be arranged, custom arranged, to fit that group over there. But
Right.
if you do
Right.
the balloon, if you do the hike, actually, these two are the highlight.
So that would be your recommendation for anyone who is going.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We'll take you on a number of hikes actually. Some hikes are could be half an hour, some of them 2 hours, could be 1 hour. People who say, "Oh, I don't really want to walk, but I want to enjoy the area." Fine, hang around, sit there, have a cup of coffee, and Turkish shopkeepers will not leave you alone. They will give you tea and coffee, and then nobody has a chance to get bored.
Right. Right. I was about to ask you for expectation setting. It's not like if you don't do the balloon, you're gonna be alone in your room. There's still, coffee shops and restaurant and places to
Yes,
go. And
yes,
you're
yes,
talking about
yes,
this open museum. So
yes,
it's
yes.
not just a remote place. It's actually
No,
a
no.
very well built, would you call it a city?
Remote is the name of the company, not the region.
Exactly. Muy bien.
Yes,
Very
we
good.
choose the hotel, and then in urban areas. When I say urban, actually, because Cappadocia is the first national park in Turkey, and we can build those apartments there. They are about maybe 10 miles away. So we have to preserve what has been there, just modify it to serve today's needs.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, why people should do it with you? I love this question. Why people should come with us? to Cappadocia rather than maybe try to do it by themselves, for instance.
We have a tradition of doing the same thing in a different way every time we do it. I myself have never done Cappadocia trip twice the same way. Number one, I don't want to get myself bored, and then I feel like I'm doing something new. I change the direction, I change the order of things, or sometimes the weather actually is important because a great place with great stunning photography, but you want to do it with the when the light is good, sun is good position. So for us, the remote members, I don't know, we don't look at you as clients. These people are not like regular tourists. First of all, they're very clever. You don't have to repeat anything twice. You say one thing once and then they get it.
It's clearly you love it, and clearly you add your little. It's your flavor, right? It's your own way of presenting it and doing like you tailor made it according, as you mentioned it, to the conditions of the weather, the group, how you want to do it, how you feel it will be. I guess the people will get a better experience. Is there anything else that you would like to add to invite people to come, or any last thoughts that you would like to share with us?
I would pack a good hiking shoes, but you don't have to have hiking boots. A good sneaker is good enough with a good traction because the area is not paved. Yes, there are the main roads, asphalt, but the walking areas, the museums, and the sites is all kind of loose gravel. I would bring because nighttime the temperature goes down to maybe 10 degrees. So I would definitely bring one fleece actually. Cappadocia is also a place where, by the way, Turkey is the sixth largest country in the world for vineyards. We have the sixth largest vineyards in the world, but 80% of this is used for raisins. So 20% actually is used for wine production, and Cappadocia is one of the big one in the area. And the aging of wine is actually not in barrels; it's made in caves because the temperature in the cave is constant all year round. Winter, summer doesn't change. 15 to 17 degrees, and wine needs that constant temperature. So wine tasting is a big thing in there too.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about that one. It's usually what is it? It's usually red wine, isn't it? Or white wine.
Turkey has good red wines, but we have Emir. EMIR is a local grape from Cappadocia. Those are like dry white wine, and that's one of the best ones in the whole area. And it's grown in there, it's made in there. And for handicrafts, Cappadocia is great actually because it's the heart of the country. A lot of things are still, transported from east, west, north, south, and then they end up going through the area. For the pottery, for example, in Neolithic era, talking about 8,000 years ago, kick wheel was invented in the area, so it's still used by the locals over there. Hundreds of families are still making a living by throwing a pot, while the boys in the family learn to throw a pot from their father, and the girls learn how to weave a rug from her mother. Actually, back in the old days, a boy who doesn't know how to throw a pot, a girl who doesn't tie a knot, has a low chance of getting married because that was the only way family could make earning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They need to work together, you know.
Yeah, food is great in Cappadocia. Food,
Food in Turkey is great.
yes, the because it's the northernmost tip of Mesopotamia.
Hmm.
Mesopotamia means land of between two waters, referring to today's southeastern Turkey, part of Syria, and Iraq. Cuneiform was invented in the area, codified law, and writing, was there. So all this ancient, every generation adds something to food. That's how you
Right.
can tell an old village from a new one. If you go to let's say, a new country in the world, and then you will see if you go to 10 villages, everybody makes a soup in the same way. But in old lands, when you go to different villages, every family has a different way of making the same soup because they have a long tradition of so many generations. We are choosing those restaurants, that present the local flavors in a stylish way. People working in the companies never go and try those menus. We guys end up trying those. I said to myself, when I run my own company, I will not be taking my clients to any restaurant that I would not go by myself.
Right. Sweet. Ivan, I want to say thank you for your time. This is, I'm sure this will help people to understand who is the people behind this, the mastermind. Obviously, someone local, and for sure, you just drop a little bit of knowledge. I'm sure you are full of it, and I'm sure you're gonna teach a lot of value to our remotes. Also, just showing them that it's not just a hot air balloon ride spot in the world.